Hello, I'm Marianne Davis. Thank you for joining me for this special Women's History segment of Nevada County Now, where we're exploring the lives of women around our community who are themselves making history. I'd like to introduce you to my guest today, Robin Davies. Robin Davies is the Executive Director of the Greater Grass Valley Chamber of Commerce, the Grass Valley Downtown Association, and the Greater Grass Valley Business Alliance, where she champions local businesses and drives initiatives that strengthen the economic vitality of Grass Valley and Western Nevada County. A dedicated community leader, she works closely with business owners, civic partners, and local government to promote growth, collaboration, and a thriving local economy. Welcome, Robin.
Thank you, Marianne. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you today.
So nice to have you. I have to know, what inspires you? What motivates you to do all these wonderful things that you do now and have done in the past?
Very interesting, the question to be asked. All of my life, I've been a businesswoman. I've run my own business. I was an interior designer. I was an art dealer, art broker, had an art gallery. I was always in business, very focused, mono-focused on that type of economic vitality. I retired, married my husband. We lived on top of the mountain, and we moved back to Nevada County. We had an opportunity to work with the city of Grass Valley and other local organizations to open a visitor center. And along with that came the Grass Valley Chamber. I've never run a nonprofit. I've never had the opportunity to give back to a community. I am so inspired by what I see around me. The people in this county, the people in Grass Valley, Nevada City, Truckee, and all of our small towns, their dedication to service and making Nevada County a remarkable place to live. Yeah. I'm inspired every day by the individuals that I meet and the opportunity that I have to give back to this remarkable county and the people who live here.
It's a good feeling, isn't it?
It is.
To do something that comes back to you.
Truly. I love being in the business of business, but being in the business of service, it doesn't get any better than that.
I totally understand. So is there a woman in history that has piqued your interest or motivated you or inspired you in any way?
That's a very interesting question, and certainly there are so many women in the world who have accomplished great feats and tasks in a time when the world was patriarchal. And there's one woman going back into the late 1800s, into the 1890s, who did something quite remarkable with her brother, or she was inspired by her brother, Robert Baden-Powell. And Robert Baden-Powell founded the Boy Scouts. And his sister, Agnes Baden-Powell, founded the Girl Guides in the United Kingdom. And she created this movement as an empowerment for young women to learn how to interact and to enrich their lives and their country. So fast forward a few years to America, and Juliet Gordon Low was inspired by Agnes Baden-Powell, and she created the Girl Scouts of America.
Oh, okay.
So why do I look at these two women as heroes and inspiration? My life was founded on all the principles of scouting. My mother put me into scouting when I was in elementary school, into the Brownie Scouts. Oh. And then I graduated into being a Girl Scout. And all that encompasses, my mother was a Girl Scout leader. I learned so much. I learned how to sew, how to cook, how to give care, how to be a lifeguard, how to lash a table, how to dig a latrine. I can lay a trail, I can mark a trail and find my way back. All these things dancing, singing, needlecraft, all the things that a young woman can put into practice to enrich her life and give her a foundation of knowledge. And being a Girl Scout is like being part of a team. You really learn how to work with your scout companions under the leadership of the scout leaders. You do community service, you give back to the community, you perform all kinds of treats, and you get to go to camp where you get to canoe and swim and do all kinds of things that help you gain confidence and enrich your life and make you feel like you can stand on your own 2 feet. And I have so much admiration for those women who had the vision of empowerment for young women, because remember, this was a time at the turn of the century when the world was run by men, as we know. Women were not empowered. Their job was to be a homemaker and to raise a family, and that's a very admirable vocation.
Sure.
But having the ability to learn in a very, very supportive environment how to do it, and you earn badges. You actually had something tangible at the end of a project that you completed. You got the flower badge or the dance badge or the lifeguard badge or the swimming badge or the canoeing badge. And it was really, and on your sash, the more badges you had, you could wear them with pride. So I have to thank these 2 women who were such visionaries and were able to establish this program throughout the United States that's wholesome, American, and I love, love, love their tagline, be prepared.
Absolutely.
So that's a wonderful thing to live by, be prepared.
Be prepared. And it's so wonderful that this organization still exists and is still producing some amazing young women who will take on the leadership roles and all the roles they wanted. They can do whatever they want to do. And that's, I think, part of what scouting teaches.
It is. It's a very wholesome, learning, safe environment for young women. And today I can walk through a garden and identify flowers or trees or birds or insects because I learned all that. I got badges for those things. So it's a fun part of life. A bit of trivia certainly is. I'm not in the aviation, an aviary, but it's really fun to be able to identify a blackbird or a woodpecker or a sparrow or any of those beautiful birds that live in our community.
Right. Well, thank you. Now, I know there are some things that I know about you that maybe not everybody does. It has to do with something really cold. And I was wondering if you would share that or anything else that you feel somebody might not know about you.
Sure. I believe that you're referring to my very first career, and that was with Ice Capades.
Yes.
I was an ice skater. So circle back to my very beginning. At 5 years old, my mother put me into ballet to learn poise and discipline, because ballet is a very strict dance discipline. So I learned all the basics, and I had really good poise. And fast forward to age 10, my school was going on a field trip, and we were going ice skating. So I laced up those boots, and I went out there and went, oh, this is really easy. I like this. Flying around the ice at 90 miles an hour without having any problem with balance. Thank you, Mom, for all those ballet lessons. I had a really good core and good posture, and I liked it so much, I asked my mom if I could take lessons. And she was very kind. She did. She allowed me to take lessons. And I was pretty good, Marianne. I did a good job and earned myself a pair of boots of my own rather than rental boots. So I took lessons for a number of years. I was in regional competition. But I was too old to go into anything beyond regional competition because you have to start competition at age 5
Oh, wow.
in order to go into beyond regionals. You go to nationals, you have to be at 12 years old, you have to be at Olympic caliber.
Wow.
So I joined the ice show. Why? Well, I was skating at a local rink, and an Ice Capades scout happened to be there, saw me skate, asked who I was, called my mother, said, "We'd like your mother to join the ice show." Well, I was just graduating from high school,
Mhm.
and my mom said, "Well, my daughter will be finished in June. Send me the contract. Let me take a look at it." She did. She signed, and Marianne, off I went. First airplane ride to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, my.
So for 10 years, I skated with Ice Capades and Holiday on Ice. And it was, that was my education.
Wow.
I really learned about life, about poise, about public speaking, which you wouldn't imagine
Oh.
that would be part of it. But back in those days, you represented your organization. It was in the 60s. We all had to dress with our hats and gloves and high heels and suits. We got on and off the train, dressed to the nines.
Wow.
And when we got to a city, we were always on call for PR. And what that meant was you get into a city and the city, the manager would say to you, "Robin, you're doing PR today. You're going to speak to the Elks." And off you would go with someone from the organization, and you would have to speak extemporaneously about being a skater in the ice show and then answer questions. And we had to know about the community or the city that we were in. So I had a great deal of book learning to do because back then we didn't have the
Didn't have the internet to search, right?
No, so I really learned about the cities in America, and the people and the industries in the cities that we were in, and certainly the organizations that we spoke to. I got to skate with George Clooney's dad
Oh, wow.
on TV. Yes, we did a skating promotion with him. It was really fun. It was a delightful time in my life, and I learned so much about people, about how to conduct yourself, just watching how people interact is a huge lesson in life. You take away so much. And then I'm a voracious reader, and I call myself Sherlock Holmes because I'm very curious. So learning about all those places that were on our itinerary was really pretty magical because we played Canada and Mexico in addition to many, many cities in the United States.
What a great way to see the world, or
Oh, it
part
was.
of it at least.
And it really contributed to my education.
Absolutely. Probably a love of travel, too.
Absolutely. I do know how to pack a suitcase.
When's the last time you ice skated?
A very, very long time ago. I left the show in 1976, so that's really dating me there. But I had just bought a new pair of skates, and they were beige skates because I gave myself the gift of beige skates because in the chorus, the girls wore white skates,
Oh,
and the principal skaters wore beige skates because it elongates your leg, so it gives you a better look. So I gave myself a pair of beige skates because it was just really fun. And off I went. I skated for a number of years, and then I moved, and there wasn't an ice rink close to me.
oh.
But I've got these beautiful boots. What am I going to do? They're sitting in my skate bag. What am I going to do? I went, okay, I'm going to make the journey to the closest ice rink. And I did. I went and I laced up my boots, put them on, got out on the ice, skating around going, wow, my feet really hurt. I haven't been in the boots for a very long time. So you kind of, it's like getting on a bicycle. You still know how, but you have to regain your balance. So I went around and I can still do the moves and the jumps and the spins, but gosh, my feet really hurt. So I made a deal with myself. Okay, we're going to go around one more time. And when you get back to this point, you are going to decide whether you are either going to continue to skate and go back and embrace this as a sport, or you're going to get off the ice, take your boots off, put them in the bag, and that's the end of it. And that was it. I got around, took my boots off, put them in the bag, and that was the end of it. So it's been a long time since I've had the boots on, but I do have them with me.
Wow.
There's always if I have a temptation, I would lace up, even though I'm sure it would be uncomfortable as can be. But it was an important part of my life, and it was my very first career, and I'm very blessed to have that foundation. It was an education in and of itself, and it set me for life, because it was a social interaction on every level. We skated with a troop of 40 some girls and boys and principals, and there were just under 100 people in our group, in our traveling group, and we did 10 months out of the year we were on tour.
Wow.
So we had 2 weeks at Christmas and a few weeks during the summer, and then we were back at rehearsals.
Wow.
So I loved it, and then I moved on. Everything that I had learned on the road absolutely worked for me. My first job off the ice was a concierge in a hotel, because Marianne, I sure knew my way around a hotel.
You sure did.
I did. So that was really fun. Great part of my life.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing everything about your life. And there's so much more to tell, I know, but we're limited by time. But I just want to say thank you so much for watching this special Women's History segment of Nevada County Now. Make sure to check out our other interviews. Our community is full of amazing women like Robin. Thank you.